My girlfriend and I finally got around to finishing Bridgerton Season 3. A few weeks ago I made a video on Queen Charlotte, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I called it my favorite season in the Bridgerton series. And I have to say, after finishing Season 3, Queen Charlotte definitely has some competition. I don't think it's probably my favorite season, but we'll just have to wait and see how I feel over time. There is just so much to love about this season for me. Now, I've said this a few times in a few other videos and podcasts, but I don't really go on the internet a lot. I watch a select group of YouTubers, and I find media news for the podcast, but that's basically it. G, on the other hand, is all up in the internet. She's the kind of person that loves spoilers, so she knew everyone's opinions on Season 3 before we even watched the first episode. After finishing it, she told me that people collectively don't like this season very much, and that really confused me because I thought the writing was way better than all the other seasons combined, and on par with Queen Charlotte. She said a lot of people didn't like Francesca and were upset that her book was different, and I personally haven't read the book, but I enjoyed her character for the most part. Not liking the show because it's different from the book is a pretty valid opinion, but from my point of view, I related to Francesca for a while in the show. I'm a pretty shy person, and I love talking about my hyperfixations. However, by the end of the season, it was pretty clear she was the worst written character in the season. Not because she is written bad, there just always is a top and a bottom of a list. She was insanely one note, which is usually fine for Bridgerton because there isn't a whole lot of character development within the first two seasons, and there weren't a whole lot of characters with a lot of depth in those seasons either. It was just way more noticeable this season because of all of the development and depth the characters got in Season 3. Cressida was the most interesting to me. She was one of the most one-note characters in the last two seasons, but she was used optimally this season. We got to see a depth to her that explains her actions, and then her character changes because she wanted to get out of her situation. She does some shitty things at points, but it was interesting because she was actively fighting who she was. It was just shockingly well written because I didn't even feel like she fully deserved her comeuppance at the end. I still felt bad for her. Speaking of shockingly well written Cressida, the actual plot was way better than I expected. My expectations for the story were low going into the third season. The first season was a very interesting love story. I liked the characters and it was very fun overall. For the second season, I think the Duke leaving really messed up the story because it just felt like something was missing. I didn't feel any real tension for Anthony because I just knew they were going to get together, and the side plots were just whatever. Season 3 really killed it in the side plot, main plot, and love story. I love how the main romance part of the story ended in the first half of the season. It allowed for the plot not to feel dragged out. It allowed for a more interesting change in directions. It switched from love story to marriage drama, and I kind of like that. On top of that, the marriage drama was actually connected into the main plot of finding Whistledown. In addition, the world felt more real because nearly every character had motivations and goals. For example, Violet Bridgerton finds love again. Even though she is a part of the plot as a side character, her motivations and goals are to understand her new feelings about finding new love. This probably has something to do with the actors really coming into their roles over the last few years. One character that I've loved since day one, and I guarantee it's because of the actor, is Benedict. I freaking love Benedict. His actor is always in character and flamboyant as hell. You can look at him in the background and he'll be making some goofy ass face or some goofy ass movement. He makes me so insanely happy every time he's on scene. One standout moment was in the final episode where he was sitting with Eloise on the swings again. Their relationship is underrated. They have such a great bond and their actors seem to really enjoy each other. Eloise is another one of my favorite characters for a pretty similar reason as Benedict. I love that goofy smirk that she gives every now and then. I just think she's so freaking funny. I'm very excited for both their seasons, which is good because Benedict is next year. Yippee! As for the opposite of the spectrum, I didn't like Penelope all that much in the first two seasons. I felt like the Bridgerton's hatred of Whistledown was pretty understandable because she said some messed up things. But she acknowledged that she did and wants to change. Same with her mom. The two of them had really impressive character development, one that I'll be watching closely and will be upset if they revert to what they were. It sucks, man. I'm really excited for the next season, and I've never felt that way before. We watched season 1 over a year ago and then we got distracted. Then we watched the remaining 3 seasons over the last few months, and I'm officially hooked on this world and I really want more. It's a great written show overall and really great characters, one of which was really underutilized in season 2 and was redeemed in season 3. Will Mondrich was a character I loved in season 1. The loss of the Duke left Will out to dry. His plotline in season 2 was nothing, but in season 3 they took in the bad plotline and remolded it into something interesting. I love seeing them come into wealth and Will's turmoil over selling his bar, which I personally think he probably should have kept. I think that it was really rude of his wife to not understand his passions and hobbies, but as long as Will is still happy, I'm happy. I'm excited to see where his character goes in the future seasons, if he has more to do, I guess. Oh, and one final note. The bugs. I thought it was really funny. I fell right into the writer's trap and also thought she meant bugs, not butterfly bugs. I audibly laughed when she opened the container. Man, this season was really great. It really might be my favorite. I don't know. That is really good. Please comment your opinions of the season down below. I'm curious to what everyone thought about it. What was your favorite and least favorite part? Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day. See ya. Please subscribe.